told you the federal government is now proposing a plan to revoke the patents for certain prescription drugs if the drug makers are charging you too much for them. That way, a competitor could just make the same drug for less. Yeah, that's happening. As a consumer, you may think, well, that sounds pretty good. But as an American, you may also be thinking, that's not how the free market or capitalism works in this country. Now, before you make up your mind, I have one more critical piece of information that'll help you make up your mind in this scenario. This proposal to revoke patents would only be for drugs or inventions that you, the taxpayer, already contributed to through government grants during the research and development phase. So in case you don't know this, the U.S. government awards approximately $115 billion a year in grants and research funding through public tax dollars to universities, nonprofits, small and large businesses, including private pharmaceutical companies, to research and develop drugs and treatments that ultimately save lives. But under the Bayh-Dole Act of 1980, the government retains certain rights on any products or inventions produced through these public-private partnerships that use this federal money. This legislation allows federal agencies to compel companies that make these products to provide a non-exclusive, partially exclusive, or exclusive license to a responsible applicant. And if the company refuses to grant that license for its product, the government has the authority to grant the license itself. These are called march-in rights because they allow the federal government to march in and issue a license for a product that the American taxpayer had a hand in paying for. Now, the federal government has obviously had this authority for decades, but it has never used the power until now. In order for the government, by the way, to use these march-in rights under the current law, several criteria have to be met. So now the Biden administration is proposing that price should be a criteria when determining whether or not the government will exercise these march-in rights. The White House said today taxpayer-funded medications should be reasonably available and affordable, and pointed out it's particularly offensive when American taxpayers help fund the research and development of a drug, and then when it's finally approved, the drug maker sells it for much cheaper in other countries and then jacks up the price here in the United States. Now, at this point, we do not know which drugs would be on this list to get hit with one of these march-in actions because this is just a proposal. Right now, the Departments of Commerce and Health and Human Services have a proposed regulation listed in the Federal Register that is open for public comment. So feel free to go there and let them know what you think. Once the comment period ends, and if or when the rule is finalized, then we'll have a better idea of which drugs would be on this list. And no doubt, if or when this rule is finalized, we're going to see multiple lawsuits challenging these new rules.